Hi guys, RC Old Guy here again. Today I'm here with my newly created base station. Um, now I don't know why anybody else hasn't done this, but I used a 19-inch HP flat screen LCD, and it has a really good picture. It's 17 inches. I had a 7-inch display like that you would use in a car on my other base station, and I couldn't stand it. It was just too small and too dark. This is actually, I haven't even set the brightness on this yet. This is the first time outside with it. But what I've done, aside from the screen, is I've incorporated a 4-channel professional DVR unit in this case. Um, you can get these online on eBay for about 47 bucks. It's going to take you a little while to figure out the setup on it because it's from China. And the instructions are really, really poor. I had some time messing around, janking around with trying to get the channels to come up the right way. So as it displays right now, it is on my, well, I'll explain it this way. I have up to 4 cameras I can run on this, so my intentions were to use my 1.2 gigahertz camera on my F550 over there. And what I was going to do is have that for the FPV part of the flight. I'll have a selfie cam that will be pointing at me while I fly, and then I'll have what I call sky cam, which is where it's set at right now. This is on the sky cam. It's actually very clear, very clean, and that is a camera from China as well. So I'll just give you a little shot here, and then we'll get into what it looks like. The case is from Home Depot, 20 bucks, aluminum. It has like some kind of a plyboard interior to it. Very nice case. I've had it for airsoft stuff for years. I had it laying around, didn't use it. I put this entire base station together for under $60. So I did really, really, really well at this. A lot of the stuff I already had, some of the plexiglass. So I would estimate if you had to pay for everything, it'd probably be up around 300 or so with the monitor. I got the monitor for free. The case I already had. Plexiglass I had. The DVR I paid for. I got that. I had some BNC connectors and such. So what I have on the back there, as you can see, is my 1.2 wireless that has a mast that is fiberglass. That's a retractable mast. So I can put that in and out. You know, it all packs up in the case nice and clean. That's my 1.2 transmitter up there with the skew planar antenna that I designed and made for it off the internet. That was really helpful. I think IB Crazy is the guy responsible for those. Good instructions out there. On this side, this is just a receiver that I have. Typically, I'm going to put the 2.4 there for my selfie cam, or I might just use a regular solid camera. And this is my cloverleaf skew planar for my receiver on my F550 over there. Okay, and so the way this is powered, right here, 12 volts, right back into my power output in my trunk. So this entire unit runs on 12 volts from the car. I have a inversion system in it that goes from 12 volts to 120 to run the monitor. The monitor runs on 120. It has a VGA, I don't know why I can't say that, VGA output on it. Now what I've found recently is that you can purchase monitors. You know, you can get like, go to Walmart and get a Dynex now, a 19-inch Dynex. Has VGA output on it as well as a TV output on it. So you could conceivably do this. I don't understand why somebody hasn't done it sooner. But it's a sweet setup. So this is my Skycam that's mounted on the back. It sits on simple 3 screws. Put it in. It's got a little cooling fan built in here for the screen, so we're not overheating anything when it runs. This camera itself, I paid $6.50 on eBay for. Unfortunately, they don't tell you about the NTSC versus PAL. Now, if you can see, and I'm not sure if you can, that label right there says NTSC on it. Well, they're lying. There's either something in there for a jumper or something that maybe has to be shifted or moved. I haven't taken it apart to look at it, but it is definitely not NTSC. All my other cameras are NTSC, American Standard. When I run those, they all work fine on color. When I run this, it comes in black and white. So when I run this on PAL, this one turns to color. So it's a fairly obvious situation there, so we know that they're wrong about what they're saying. I'm trying to work with the seller at this point, see if we can get that figured out and fixed, but it clearly is not the correct format for that camera, despite what they claim. Over here we have the output port. Now this is for the wiring to go up to the receiver up here, and it all tucks back in nice and neat. This is a pill bottle, and this is the cap. So what happens is we stuff all that back into that little hole, push it all back in there and put the cap on it, put that cap back on, and you never see it. So it looks pretty neat. It's all buttoned up. So we'll get to the interesting stuff, I guess. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. Probably going to fail at that, but this is the OSD board that was with the screen. This screen itself, there was another bezel that had to come off. It has a steel back on it, okay? The steel back is great because it allows you to mount them on the wall. As you see, I have 4 mounting quarter 28s, I think they are, and those go into the backing plate on this, so it's mounted right to this lid. The nice thing about this monitor was no trim work at all. It fit like a glove in this housing. All this foam right here was with this original box. This bezel fit in there like a charm. Perfect. Picture's pretty good. So anyway, nuts and bolts. So OSD display, that's on the outside now. We had to take that on-off switch is right here. Again, that's like a little OSD board. I just took it out and put it on the outside. Power switch right here. On-off switch for the inverter. Power output for one of the cameras, and then I have a bunch of power wire outputs that go to the cameras as well. Here's a little mouse for the display. So I'll show you how this works kind of real quick, and then we'll open it up and take a look. So right now I have it on the Skycam, which is my primary camera because I can't run 2 cameras. I'll have one black and white and one color. And it's a nice day. It's a marathon day, beautiful out. I figured I'd use the good camera. Okay, so we're going to click on the screen here. And what happens when you do that, see I have 4 breakouts for F550, Skycam. I have none for this one and none for this one set right now. But 2 of those, I don't have the wireless hooked up to it right now, so you only get that one display. You have a main menu here, and you can go in there and set these cameras to film anything you want, any way you want them. In fact, right now it's filming. Actually, it's stopped. I haven't turned on the filming yet. But what I plan on doing, so when I fly, I can make a video that's going to have my F550 in flight here, Skycam watching it fly, and then selfie cam over here watching me fly, or whatever else. And you can actually throw another channel in there, maybe to watch the crowd or something that comes around you. This is a 2 gig USB stick that goes into this port that I put up here. And I'll explain what that's for. This thing, the mouse comes with this. So at any rate, we run this screen in 4-way mode, or you can double click on it and you get the entire screen. So this is great if you do an FPV, I think. I haven't tried the goggles yet. I'm thinking about those next, but I really think that this is a pretty reasonable solution to my problem. My other camera that I use has a better resolution. The wireless for the F550 is a 600 line quarter CMOS. So it's a really nice camera. It's going to be a lot clearer than this. The one that I got from the internet, that white one on the back, Skycam, is only a 480 line. So it's not the best of things. The monitor itself is 1280 by 1080 by 1260 or something like that. I think that's what the resolution is on it right now. So it's fairly decent sized picture. And you can see down here in the corner it says Skycam. Up here we've got the date and the time on all that good stuff in your recording modes. So conceivably what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have 4 different videos in one shot. And I, like I said, don't know why anybody hasn't tried this yet. They do save in 2 different formats. There's an RS format that they use that is particular to DVRs. I guess it's a standard that's used. You can use it with their proprietary software to run it, but it's not going to work if you want to put it on YouTube. However, you can save this system and use it as AVI. So when you save it, it goes out to AVI. It's beautiful. And then you can, obviously edit it any way you want. There's also editing software in here. You can pick up and stop on any point that you want in the process and film, cut, edit, and do whatever you like. You can turn on cameras, turn off cameras. You can have 2 cameras. You can have, 4 cameras. It's great. So inside, here's the mouse. Put that over here. This is, oops, sorry about that. This is the plexi I used. It's 1/4 inch thick. I had it from my other base station that I can't stand. Mouse pad up here that's glued down. So I'm going to take this off, and up she comes. This is the cover for the DVR station. Right here I've put foil on the inside for shielding. On the inside of the screen as well, the entire backing, that's all foiled with aluminum foil just for little shielding properties. I did wrap all the cables, including the video and audio signal stuff. It's all wrapped in foil for signal, so it doesn't lose any signal or have any interference. All my power wires are routed. Oops, sorry about that. The power wires here are routed on one side, and over here is the video and the audio. This is all power for the fan and for the monitor. So we don't want to have those together. When you put this together, you got to be very careful. So here we are with the DVR. It's on right now, and it's running. A little light indicates that. I have put a little piece of plastic up there so you can see that glowing. The hard drive, be aware of these things. They don't necessarily tell you this is going to happen, but when you buy these DVRs, they usually don't come with a hard drive unless you buy it with it. If you don't, and you put your SATA drive like I did, which is my nice 2 terabyte drive that I use for work, I happened to plug it in just to see how it was all going to go together. It like instantly formats the drive. So if you have anything on it, it's going to be gone. It was my foolish mistake. I didn't back up my stuff. I should have known better. But at any rate, it's, I think, a Linux operating system that they use on the software itself, or whatever you want to call it, the firmware. So what happens to that afterwards is when you go to plug that drive back into your computer, you'll hear it go kaplunk. It recognizes the device is going in, but you won't see a drive letter come up. You will have nothing. So essentially that hard drive belongs to the DVR now, like it or not. That's where it's going to stay because it's useless anywhere else. I don't know if that's a Vista. I'm running Vista. I'm not running 7, so I'm not sure if that's an issue with that. Maybe. I don't know. All right, so aside from that, what happens here is when you record, I've got enough in here I can record for a week or 2, which is ridiculous, but you can do it. So you record, it all goes to that hard drive, then you use the software and you go to backup mode, and it puts it on the stick. Okay, so now you have your AVI files on your stick. Now this is fine. You can plug that into your computer, no problems. Load it right up. You might have to load up a DivX converter or 2 for the AVI to work. It depends on what your system is. I reloaded mine last year, and still catching up with updates and stuff. So this is it in a nutshell. All this system in here. This is a power inverter. 120 in. This can unplug. I can unplug this at any time and plug in an extension cord and run it from the house if I wanted to. I have a 12-volt LiPo battery, and I can also plug that into this side port. So it runs. You can run it in the house and stuff if you want to mess around with it. This is where the cables come in here. What I created under here, I'm not sure if you can see it. There is like a little plexiglass bus bar that I created. It's just a piece of plexi, 2 pieces of copper Romex wire running down each side. Goes into the main feed. There's a fuse in there. But that allows you just to make, instead of using a screw bar, I see a lot of fancy work out there. I've seen some of these stations that they're embarrassing. If you're going to put your stuff in a cooler, just go back to where you came from. It's embarrassing, really. Be creative. Make something nice. This case is on a tripod, as you can see. It's really heavy. This is probably about 20 pounds, maybe more, because of the monitor. Is an old monitor. I didn't buy this new. It's old. Somebody gave it to me. It's used, but it works. What I did, though, under here is there's a metal plate. Now, this was from the back inside of an old TV set that somebody threw away. It's one of these metal plates that you mount the TV to the wall with. I took that out. I drilled a hole. I put a 1/4 standoff in here, welded it in there. So now, as you can see under here, as you can see underneath, it's on my heavy duty stand. That'll keep things from flexing and bending and breaking. You cannot use whatever they use for this material in here is actually like some cheap wood. I think that's what it is, some fiberboard. But that'll just snap and crack and bend and break, and you'll, all your money and all your time is going to go down the drain. But if you do it this way with the steel plate, all this is supported by the steel plate. I still would not take this out on a really heavy windy day, but that's probably not the day you want to fly anyway. But you don't want to rock it around and mess with it. But I like it on the tripod the way it is. I think it's going to be easy to see it when it flies. So that's it. Like I said, it's a VGA screen. I'm not sure why anybody hasn't tried this yet, but I'll do some videos eventually. Sorry this one was so long. And to the haters that got bored by it and all that, it's more informational for people. It's not, I'm not here to prove anything. So, and a lot of these videos that I post up are for my own personal enjoyment and for my friends. I don't necessarily put this stuff online for your comments. However, if you're being nice and you want to say something nice, go ahead. If you got nothing nice to say, just don't say anything, Nobody needs to hear, grief. So, have a great day. Happy Marathon Day. Boston strong. Take care. Thanks a lot, guys.